Yeah, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another Sonic What If video. And in today's Sonic What If video, we will be doing a fan requested Sonic What If video that I actually thought was kind of an interesting idea. That simply being, what if Mecha Sonic was a good guy, slash the Mecha Sonic survived from Sonic 3. So pretty much, if Mecha Sonic ended up surviving the events of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Tails managed to find him and essentially reprogram him, similar to how Tails did to General in Sonic Advance 3 years later. Which in my opinion is quite an interesting idea, and I don't really think I've ever seen anyone do this. So in my opinion, I thought this was one of the more interesting ones. And this fan also suggested that what if Amy died? Which, don't worry, I will be probably doing that at some point eventually. Before we go ahead and get into this, make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you guys think would happen if Mecha Sonic did in fact survive and he became a good guy joining Team Sonic. How do you think Eggman would handle the situation? What about Metal Sonic? Maybe does Eggman make a new robot to counter Mecha Sonic? Those questions will be answered today in part 1. And before we get into this as well, if you guys do want to leave future what ifs, Sonic what ifs, and all kinds of other what ifs, like Marvel DC what ifs, leave your comments down below as I do read the comments as well. And if you guys want to leave future what ifs, go leave a comment down below, and they do have a pretty good shot at getting made. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into what if Mecha Sonic was a good guy. We start our story off in the midst of Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles have made their way to Sky Sanctuary shortly after Dr. Robotnik betrayed Knuckles. The trio are making it there, however this time only the original story, if I'm correct, where Mecha Sonic was unleashed during Knuckles' story, and in this version, Mecha Sonic is released a bit earlier, and thus Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are forced to take the thing on. However, the difference here, though, is that he doesn't have the Master Emerald on him, thus he can't go Super. That's because Tails and Knuckles assure Sonic that they can handle themselves with Mecha Sonic and tell Sonic to go up into space and to deal with Eggman. And thus Sonic does just that while Tails and Knuckles take it on. Knuckles ends up punching Mecha Sonic in the face, throwing him back, while Tails ends up flying into the sky and spin dashing on Mecha Sonic, throwing him back down to the ground. However, Mecha Sonic would get back up and would throw Tails to the ground and would attempt to spin dash him. However, Knuckles would catch Mecha Sonic before he was able to do that and would end up uppercutting him, and while Tails would grab Mecha Sonic and throw him down to the ground. However, Mecha Sonic would get back up only for Knuckles to punch him in the face twice, sending the mech flying back, damaging it. Thus, not partially damaged, Tails uses his advantage and would spin dash into it, followed up by jumping on it, badly damaging it more. Then followed up by Knuckles using his own spin dash and finally punching the mech in its face, throwing it back down to Angel Island. However, it doesn't destroy it, and more or less badly damages Mecha Sonic. And thus, while that's happening, Sonic ends up heading into space to take on Eggman, and that fight pretty much plays out the same, with Sonic causing the Chaos Emeralds to go their super states, and the Sonic transforms into Hypersonic, thus defeating Eggman, getting the Master Emerald back, giving it back to Knuckles, and thus Angel Island is lifted above the ground. However, Knuckles ended up calling the duo over to Angel Island, confusing Sonic and Tails, and when they arrive, they see Mecha Sonic. They're on the ground, badly damaged, but still operational, just knocked out. Tails ended up pushing the scene, as with Sonic. Now, the two of them would be cautious, however, they quickly realize it is in fact knockout. Sonic would end up turning to his best friend, asking, "Tails, can you fix this?" Tails ended up saying, "Yeah, I can. In fact, I think I could do more than just fix it. I could reprogram it to join us." Sonic will be taken off guard by saying, "Really?" And Tails saying, "You bet." Thus, Tails tells Sonic to follow him back to his lab at the Mystic Ruins as they bid their farewells to Knuckles. And thus, they head to Mystic Ruins, where Tails begins to work on Mecha Sonic and trying to reprogram it. Sonic would end up asking Tails, "You sure this is a good idea?" Tails saying, "Yeah, it's not really a bad idea, Sonic. Imagine having an Eggman mech on our side. We could have some huge advantages." Thus, Sonic would agree, and Tails would go ahead and begin to reprogram Mecha Sonic to become a good guy. And after a while, the reprogramming is a success, and thus Mecha Sonic ends up waking up. Sonic and Tails take defensive stances just in case Mecha tries anything and the reprogramming failed. However, the reprogramming worked just great, and thus Mecha Sonic is no longer on Dr. Robotnik's side, but is now, in fact, on Sonic's side. Sonic would end up approaching Mecha Sonic, asking him if he remembers anything, with Mecha Sonic saying yes he does, going over the events of what just happened with Tails and with his fight with Tails and Knuckles. However, he also tells the duo that he realizes that he needs to help them, thus showing that the reprogramming did in fact now work. Thus, Mecha Sonic is now part of Team Sonic. Think of it as essentially him being the fourth member of the team, pretty much. Thus, now the duo are thrilled to have a new friend on their side, and thus they can realize they could use Mecha Sonic to their advantage to go ahead and try to stop Eggman. Sonic would have asking Mecha Sonic, "Do you know where Robotnik was heading next?" With Mecha Sonic saying no, he doesn't. Mecha Sonic was just made solely purpose to go after Sonic, so he has no idea where Eggman was going next if his plan failed. Sonic would have contemplated this. However, Mecha Sonic would have said that he did briefly mention something about Flicky Island. This would catch Sonic and Tails' attention, saying, "Flicky Island?" Mecha Sonic wound up saying yes. He doesn't know how that much all detail about it. However, he does recall Eggman briefly mentioning something about Flicky Island. Tails will go ahead and quickly do research on the island, but Tails explaining to Sonic what's about to happen there. And Sonic wound up asking as well, so you think he's trying to go to Flicky Island in order to do something? With Tails nodding his head, as does Mecha Sonic. And thus Sonic would have contemplating this. And thus they would have said that they probably do, in fact, need to head over to Flicky Island and try to stop whatever Eggman is doing. And thus they decide to go ahead and quickly contact Knuckles. And thus Knuckles, although hesitant to leave the Mastermind unguarded, especially after what just happened, agrees. Thus they all end up heading over to Flicky Island, thus leading us into the events of Sonic 3D Blast. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Mecha Sonic all arrive at Flicky Island, look around, and they quickly notice the Eggman robots there. Thus, Mecha Sonic and Sonic quickly move over there and quickly take them down. And Mecha Sonic having gained some new abilities according to Tails, those being lasers and stuff like that. Lasers, run a bit faster than normally did, though, as Sonic allowed Tails to take part of his speed and putting it into Mecha Sonic. Thus, Mecha Sonic is slightly faster than what Eggman did. As keep this in mind, Mecha Sonic, along with Silver Sonic and Sonic 2, are nowhere near as powerful as Metal Sonic himself. Those essentially upgrades to Mecha Sonic. This way, they would stand a much greater chance against Dr. Eggman's forces. From there, the heroes arrive at Green Groove Zone, and they begin to take down the Badniks, with them discovering Flickies. From there, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Mecha Sonic quickly realize what Eggman's latest scheme is, that in fact being to capture the Flickies in order for them to get the Chaos Emeralds from. Thus, the heroes quickly realize that they have to gather the Chaos Emeralds before Eggman. This way, they could go ahead and stop him. Thus, both Sonic and Mecha Sonic lead the charge, while Tails and Knuckles go throughout the stage, trying to help them on the Flickies as well. Alongside this, unbeknownst to the heroes, a figure is watching them, specifically a silver figure that resembles another Sonic robot. However, it seems familiar to us, but also different, almost as if it's a second version of it, Mark II, if you will. However, the heroes don't noticing this and thus go through the zone and manage to clear it. However, unbeknownst to them, as they're heading through the second zone as well, Rusty Ruin, at the end of the zone, when they go ahead and clear through it, this figure ends up popping down, hitting Mecha Sonic in the face. Mecha Sonic, as long as Sonic's taken off guard, as Sonic spin dashes into the figure, and we end up seeing just what in fact ended up attacking him, that in fact being Silver Sonic Mark II. It's revealed here after Mecha Sonic ended up essentially being taken by Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. As I'm in Reprogramming, Eggman was aware of this, as because this decided that he needed to make a new robot to take on Mecha Sonic, as Metal Sonic at the moment isn't really available, and thus because this, Eggman decided to take with the remains of Silver Sonic that was on the Death Egg and make Silver Sonic Mark II, much more stronger and much more powerful, equipped with far more stuff, including lasers as well, finger guns. And that's because as the heroes stare down Silver Sonic Mark II, Mecha Sonic tells it to stand down. However, Silver Sonic Mark II ends up calling Mecha Sonic a traitor, and this charges in. However, Mecha Sonic dodges the attack and shoots lasers at it, only for it to dodge, and Silver Sonic Mark II to use its finger guns, catching Mecha Sonic off guard, throwing him back alongside Sonic. However, Sonic quickly get up and spin dash into Silver Sonic Mark II when Knuckles punches him in the face. However, he ends up grabbing Knuckles and throws him to the ground while spin dashing into Tails. However, Tails quickly manages to get back up and spin dashes back as well. That's happening, Mecha Sonic manages to grab Silver Sonic Mark II and punches it in the face and kicks it to the ground, followed by its spin dash of its own. However, Silver Sonic Mark II quickly gets back up and ends up punching Mecha Sonic back right in the face, throwing it into the wall, damaging him. Alongside this, he would spin dash into Mecha Sonic as well and kick him above another part of the stage. However, Sonic would get back up and would spin dash into Silver Sonic Mark II. However, Silver Sonic Mark II, when he is shooting its finger guns, would spin dash back into Sonic. However, right before it can continue attacking, Mecha Sonic quickly comes back down and attacks Silver Sonic Mark II, grabbing it and throws it down to the ground in a bear hug. While that's happening as well, Knuckles is coming up and uppercutting Silver Sonic Mark II. However, Silver Sonic Mark II grabs Mecha Sonic by the foot and throws him back down to the ground. Along the same time, punches Knuckles in the face and kicks Tails in the face as well. However, Sonic quickly gets back up as well and spin dashes into Silver Sonic Mark II. However, it's also revealed here that Silver Sonic Mark II has a little bit of an advantage, as it's revealed the yellow Chaos Emerald is inside of him. However, the heroes quickly realized they had to get the Chaos Emerald from it. At this point, they already had two Chaos Emeralds at this point, both the red and the white one. And that's because as the heroes begin to fight back against Silver Sonic. However, Silver Sonic, now with the advantage of Chaos Emerald, is obviously beginning to outclass them. However, Sonic and Mecha Sonic are managing to stay on the ground, as is Tails and Knuckles, and thus the fight continues. Knuckles ends up punching Silver Sonic Mark II into another part of the stage. While that's happening as well, Tails ends up grabbing him and throwing him into the sky and throwing him back down. However, Silver Sonic Mark II quickly gets back up and reveals a jetpack, flying into the air and grabbing both Tails and Knuckles, throwing them onto the ground, knocking them out cold, thus leading on to one more fight with Sonic and Mecha Sonic fighting Silver Sonic Mark II. Silver Sonic Mark II flies in with a spin dash. However, both of them dodge the attack, and Silver Sonic Mark II ends up going for finger guns. However, Mecha Sonic ends up flying to the air on its own, with him grabbing Sonic as well, throwing Sonic the Silver Sonic Mark 2, allowing Sonic to spin dash into him, while Mecha Sonic does his own spin dash as well, throwing Silver Sonic Mark 2 down to the ground. While that's happening as well, Sonic kicks him on the ground as well. Alongside this, Mecha Sonic ends up coming in and punching Silver Sonic Mark 2 in the face. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 quickly gets back up as well and uppercuts them. Alongside this, he manages to grab one of their Chaos Emeralds. However, Sonic, determined not to let it get away with him, saying, "I don't think so." And that's really quickly into spin dashing him, forcing Silver Sonic Mark 2 to drop the Chaos Emerald that he grabbed. Along with this, lose the yellow Chaos Emerald, which Mecha Sonic quickly grabs and uses it on himself, basically now giving himself a power boost, punching Silver Sonic in the face, causing him to go flying back, followed up by Sonic using a spin dash. Silver Sonic Mark 2, recognizing it's a pending doom, decides to fly away, realizing that if he keeps going this way, it's eventually going to get killed. And this reports us back to Dr. Eggman, with Robotnik obviously being quite pissed off. From there, both Mecha Sonic and Sonic will quickly help both Tails and Knuckles back to their feet, and thus they continue on through the zone. From here, the game mostly plays out the same. The only difference here is they accompany Mecha Sonic, with both him and Sonic going down the levels, managing to free the Flickies as well. However, once we get to Volcanic Valley Zone, this is where the changes begin. At this point in time, the heroes have 5 of the Chaos Emeralds, and the only one they're missing is the Green Emerald and the Cyan Emerald. And it's because as the heroes go through the zone, while that's happening to them, Silver Sonic is watching them as well. Robotnik, pissed that Silver Sonic ended up losing one of the Chaos Emeralds, ended up losing his fight to a robot that to him is less high-tech, even though Mecha Sonic got some upgrades, though to him, Silver Sonic Mark 2 is more powerful, which he is. He demands Silver Sonic that he goes back in there and plans a strategy out. Alongside this, was managed to give him some slight more upgrades alongside him. And that's because this, Silver Sonic Mark 2 is in and falling out the zone, waiting for the right time to strike in order to get them. And thus, while Sonic, Mecha Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are clearing their way through the zone, managing to free as many Flickies as they possibly can, right when they're about to go for another Chaos Emerald, though, specifically the arena leading to get to the Chaos Emerald, that being the Cyan Emerald, Silver Sonic Mark 2 makes his appearance once again, and ends up punching Sonic in the face, throwing him almost at the lava. However, Sonic quickly manages to get back up. However, when he gets back up, he sees both Tails and Knuckles being thrown back, while Mecha Sonic is in the middle of an intense fight with Silver Sonic Mark 2. As Silver Sonic Mark 2 and both Mecha Sonic begin to fly into the air and begin to punch and kick each other, Sonic quickly manages to get back up, jumps up quickly, spin dashes into Silver Sonic Mark 2, while Mecha Sonic also uses his own spin dash. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 manages to grab Sonic when he gets out of the spin dash and throw him down to the ground, knocking Sonic out cold, resulting in a one-on-one fight between both Mecha Sonic and Silver Sonic. Mecha Sonic immediately fires lasers with his own. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 dodges the attack and uses his finger gun. However, Mecha Sonic also dodges the attack as well. The two of them go colliding into one of the walls of the zone, with the two of them almost falling into lava. However, both of them quickly manage to fly back up. Mecha Sonic manages to go ahead and use another spin dash on, throwing Silver Sonic Mark 2 back. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2, determined not to go down by a fight, grabs Mecha Sonic and throws him to the ground as well, allowing Mecha Sonic to take majority of the fall. While that's happening as well, Silver Sonic Mark 2 also uses finger guns on Mecha Sonic, badly damaging them more. However, Mecha Sonic quickly elbows a Silver Sonic into punching him in the face, followed up by an uppercut and a spin dash. Thus, Silver Sonic Mark 2 is thrown into a wall. Mecha Sonic goes in for another blow. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 quickly dodges the attack and grabs a piece of rubber, throwing it at Mecha Sonic, badly damaging him. Silver Sonic Mark 2 as well also flies up and uses his finger guns to cause more rubber to fall on Mecha Sonic. However, Mecha Sonic quickly gets back up and starts spin dashing into Silver Sonic Mark 2. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2, determined not to go down by a fight, spin dashes back and throws him almost into the lava. And right before he's about to fall in, Mecha Sonic quickly activates his jetpack just in time to get away. However, unfortunately for him, Silver Sonic Mark 2 is waiting for him and throws him down to the ground as well, elbowing him in the face, followed up by a kick in the face, causing Mecha Sonic to go flying back. However, Mecha Sonic, determined not to get down out of the fight, ends up using another spin dash on Silver Sonic Mark 2. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 quickly uses more of his finger gun and more spin dashes, and he gets to overwhelm Mecha Sonic. However, Mecha Sonic catches a spin dash and manages to grab him and throw him down to the ground, followed by stomping on his face and grabbing him and doing a flip, throwing Silver Sonic Mark 2. Silver Sonic Mark 2 retaliates by using a spin dash of his own, throwing Mecha Sonic back down to the ground. Alongside this, he would grab Mecha Sonic by the neck and throw him down to the ground, followed up by spin dash and his finger gun, and then punch him through a wall, badly damaging Mecha Sonic more. Alongside this, he would pick up a piece of rubber and throw it directly at Mecha Sonic, damaging him even more, cracking his lenses. However, luckily for Mecha Sonic, Sonic managed to regain consciousness and sees that Mecha Sonic's about to be defeated. He was quickly going for a spin dash. Alongside this, he would grab the Silver Sonic Mark 2 and throw him to the ground, spin dashing on him as well. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 would elbow Sonic in the face, would grab him and throw him down to the ground. However, Mecha Sonic would end up grabbing Silver Sonic Mark 2 and throw him into a wall, or end up punching Silver Sonic right in the face. However, Silver Sonic Mark 2 is not going down without a fight, and then seems to be using his boosters, manages to fly in the air and grabs Mecha Sonic and throws him down to the ground, intending to throw him into the lava. However, Sonic quickly manages to catch Mecha Sonic, as his boosters are badly damaged, and it's because Sonic goes in for another spin dash with Silver Sonic Mark 2, and thus Silver Sonic Mark II is beginning to struggle. Alongside this, Tails and Knuckles manage to regain consciousness, and Knuckles punches Silver Sonic Mark II in the face, allowing Mecha Sonic to go ahead and grab Silver Sonic Mark II and throw him down to the ground. Alongside this, Tails manages to do a spin dash of his own, while Sonic also manages to kick Silver Sonic Mark II in the face. And Mecha Sonic grabs a piece of rubble as well, throwing it onto Silver Sonic Mark II. Silver Sonic Mark II, recognizing he's pending defeat if he doesn't do something now, and manages to go ahead and get cheap shots on all of them. And this will go ahead and quickly fly away, with them informing Dr. Robotnik that he failed to stop them and that they're coming more, and now they have around 6 Chaos Emeralds to this point. Dr. Robotnik, furious at Silver Sonic Mark II's failing him, would up demanding with him, saying, "You better defeat them the next time we encounter them, or else you'll scrap metal." Silver Sonic Mark II would him saying, "Acknowledged," and that's because as he would quickly go ahead and head back to where Dr. Robotnik is, preparing for the final fight. Meanwhile, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Mecha Sonic follow suit after managing to grab the 6th Chaos Emerald, and thus they go ahead and continue to other zones. Now, at this point, everything will mostly play the same as well through the original game, just again with the addition of Mecha Sonic, all the way up until the final battle. From there, Sonic and Mecha Sonic would up staring down Eggman's robot as Silver Sonic would up standing there by side with Dr. Eggman. Robotnik would up telling him to stand down alongside Mecha Sonic, with him even calling Mecha Sonic traitor, joining the hero's side. I highly doubt you did it willingly, though. More than likely, Tails ended up having something to do with it. Am I right? Mecha Sonic and Sonic saying, "Correct, Doctor. Now prepare to face justice." However, Eggman went up laughing, saying, My. Looks like I need to remind someone who owns them and created them." And that's because as Eggman and Silver Sonic Mark II prepare for the final fight, as with Sonic and Mecha Sonic. Sonic would turn to Mecha, saying, "You ready, Mecha?" With Mecha Sonic saying, "Yep." And that's because as the two of them end up charging at both Robotnik and Silver Sonic Mark II. Dr. Robotnik will go ahead and begin to fire lasers alongside fire at both Mecha Sonic and Sonic as they dodge attacks. Alongside this, Silver Sonic Mark II uses his finger guns, shooting them as well. Let's support to dodge the attacks as well, all the while Eggman's hands try to crush both of them. Initially, it seems like one of Eggman's hands was about to crush Mecha Sonic. However, Mecha Sonic, using his strength, manages to break out of it. Alongside this, while this is happening, Tails and Knuckles also coming in as well, Knuckles punching the machine. Alongside this, Tails will end up spin dashing into it as with Sonic, while Mecha Sonic begins to go toe-to-toe with Silver Sonic Mark II in a rematch. Silver Sonic Mark II would go ahead and punch Mecha Sonic in the face, sending him flying back. However, Mecha Sonic would quickly get back up as well and would manage to do a spin dash into Silver Sonic Mark II. Silver Sonic Mark II would retaliate, however, with the homing attack, catching Mecha Sonic off guard. To give you some idea, at this point in time, the homing attack is not introduced, and Robotnik is explaining how we managed to go ahead and add him some new moves to Silver Sonic Mark II, specifically the homing attack. And this pissing Mecha Sonic off, going for a spin dash as well. Alongside this, Silver Sonic Mark II, however, would retaliate with a spin dash of his own and a kick to the face, sending Mecha Sonic back as he also ends up elbowing Mecha Sonic and throws him down to the ground. Alongside this, he ends up punching him in the face and throwing him in the air and doing a spin dash in midair, throwing Mecha Sonic back down to the ground. However, Mecha Sonic would retaliate as well with the fury of homing attacks of his very own. Alongside this, we managed to go ahead and punch Silver Sonic Mark II in the face, followed by a kick in the face and then a spin dash. However, while this is happening as well, Eggman would have seen that Silver Sonic Mark II is beginning to struggle with this, and firing a few lasers at Mecha Sonic, forcing him to dodge the attacks as well. Alongside this, both Tails and Knuckles will begin knocked out of the fight cold, just leaving it into a 2-on-2 fight. Sonic would end up doing a spin dash on Silver Sonic Mark II, while also fighting Eggman at the same time. Mecha Sonic would also manage to shoot a laser at Eggman's machine. However, Robotnik, getting more and more pissed off, went to fire a secret weapon, catching the two of them off guard. A massive laser, unlike the original version. Unlike the original version of 3D Blast, this time Eggman has a secret weapon up his sleeve, and that's because he seems to fire this giant laser, throwing both Sonic and Mecha Sonic back down to the ground and knocking the two of them out. Now, initially, it seems like both Robotnik and Silver Sonic Mark II have in fact won, with Robotnik gloating, saying, "Now with these pests out of the way, I can finally rule the world as the Eggman Empire expands." However, the 7 Chaos Emeralds surround them. Both Sonic and Mecha Sonic transform into their super forms. As keep this in mind, Mecha Sonic is capable of going super, as seen in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's just he wasn't able to in this timeline in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, but now he can, and he's on the hero's side. And as soon as they transform super, Robotnik and Silver Sonic Mark II's expression turn from joy and confidence to pure horror and fright, as both Super Sonic and Super Mecha Sonic begin to tear through them, with Super Mecha Sonic doing a furious spin dash, is followed up by punches and kicks in the face, beginning to overwhelm Super Sonic Mark II. Super Sonic Mark II will try to use his finger guns, however he's overwhelmed and doesn't stand a chance. He tries to fight back, however Silver Sonic Mark II is simply no match for Super Mecha Sonic. Super Mecha Sonic grabs him and throws him to the ground, followed by a spin dash and punches him in the face, sending him flying back, damaging him badly. And that's happening. Supersonic is tearing through Robotic's machine. Robotic's trying his best to fight back, shooting multiple lasers at Supersonic. However, Supersonic simply outclasses him in every way, as Super Mecha Sonic also comes in to help as well, with the two of them doing a combined spin dash, throwing and damaging Robotic's machine. Robotic getting desperate when ordering Silver Sonic Mark II to get up, and them saying, Silver Sonic Mark II, get up, you loose piece of junk. I can't lose this fight. And the Silver Sonic Mark II will go ahead and quickly get back up. We're going to attempt to interfere. However, Super Mecha Sonic ended up grabbing him, throwing him down to the ground, followed by a furious spin dash once again. And this, picking him up as well, using a massive laser, sending Silver Sonic Mark II flying back down to the ground. His lens is being cracked as Super Mecha Sonic gets him, grabbing him, throwing him onto the ground multiple times, and throws him into the Robotnik machine, damaging the machine even more, while Super Sonic gets him using a spin dash as well, damaging the machine even more, and the two of them use one more combined spin dash, completely destroying Robotnik's machine and badly damaging, nearly destroying Silver Sonic Mark II. Robotnik ended up recognizing this feat as it's Silver Sonic Mark II, and the two of them would attempt to get away. However, before leaving, Silver Sonic Mark II ended up telling Mecha Sonic that one day he will come back for vengeance, and that one day he will in fact beat Mecha Sonic, with him calling Mecha Sonic a piece of garbage. However, Mecha Sonic would retaliate, saying, well, who just won? However, Silver Sonic Mark II swears that he will get vengeance on them, and thus a rivalry between both Mecha Sonic and Silver Sonic Mark II begins. Meanwhile, Super Sonic and Super Mecha Sonic end up helping up Tails and Knuckles and for their remaining Flickies, and thus Sonic 3D Blast has now come to the end as well, as the four heroes make their way off of Flicky Island and head back to where they were. Meanwhile, that's happening as well. Volcanic and Silver Sonic Mark II retreat to an Eggman base as Eggman thinks of his next move. He quickly thinks, and he ends up turning to see Metal Sonic. After the events of Sonic CD, Eggman managed to find Metal Sonic, and Metal Sonic has been damaged ever since, which is why he ended up building Silver Sonic and Mecha Sonic originally, and why he has to use Silver Sonic Mark II. However, with Silver Sonic Mark II and Metal Sonic, perhaps he could beat the heroes, along with his brand new Death Egg model, the Death Egg 2. And thus, Robotnik way of contemplating this. However, as of right now, he needs to focus on his next move. However, unbeknownst to him, he would end up picking something up on Angel Island as well. Some weird energy signatures. And thus, this would end up catching Robotnik's attention. And thus, he ended up sending a couple of Banics over there to go check it out. And thus, while that's happening as well, Sonic, Tails, and Mecha Sonic and Knuckles also seeing this as well, as they're heading back over to Angel Island, drop off Knuckles, and thus the four heroes end up heading over there. And there we end up seeing the Badniks there, as we see them pulling out the Phantom Ruby. And just like that, reality begins to glitch, and Sonic, Tails, Mecha Sonic, and Knuckles are thrown back to Green Hill Zone, as we see the hard-boiled heavies standing there. And that's where we end part 1 of What If Mecha Sonic Survived. So I hope you all enjoyed part 1. Make sure you guys go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below what you thought of it. And huge shout out to the fan as well who ended up requesting this, as well as I also will be doing at some point What If Amy Died. So don't worry, that will be happening soon. But overall, I do hope you all enjoy this as well, and how we ended up tackling the events of Sonic 3D Blast. And now in part 2, we will be moving on to the events of Sonic Mania, and how Mecha Sonic's involvement alongside Silver Sonic Mark II will end up changing it. And as you can clearly see as well, both Mecha Sonic and Silver Sonic Mark II have in fact formed a rivalry of some sorts. Similar to how in Sega Scourge's What If Emerald Survived series, Emerald and Gemerald formed a rivalry as well. It's kind of like that pretty much, with Silver Sonic Mark II wanting to prove himself more superior than Mecha Sonic. And thus, we'll explore more of that as we get into part 2, don't worry. But I do hope you all enjoyed this video. Get hype for part 2, and I'll see you all in the next one.